Hello, guys, and welcome back to the first impact, or welcome to the first impact of season 3, using Fleisches, however you pronounce it, Real World Chronicles mod for May 2015. We are here, and we're going to select the venue. We're going into I already have selected it. And it's the Florida Prime Osborne Convention Center in Jacksonville, Florida. It can hold 3,200 people. We're expecting 3,160 people. So we should be able to get it. We have 5 pre-show matches and a total of 15 segments on the show. So let's get the show rolling. A lot of angles this week. A lot of angles. A lot of long angles because originally this is set to 50%. I think I'm going to I forgot to change it. So I'm thinking I'll set it to 60 or 70% for the angles. PJ Black is improving in technical and performance. Homicide improving in performance. So in about that, solid in ring action, but not much in the way of heat. PJ Black, Justin Gabriel. I already know Dave Scott's going to want me to push PJ, so I could try. He defeated Homicide in 803 by pinfall with a 450 splash. Fan favorite gimmick, 88. Good. Holding back, slightly holding back. Penalized for booking decisions and low experience. And in an extremely short match, Abyss defeated the Big O in 3 minutes 30 seconds by pinfall with a black hole slam. The Big O is an enhancement talent, so we're just gonna have to get him some popularity. Use explosion wisely. Get our lower level talents more popular so that they can be used more regularly. But right now he's an enhancement talent, so used him as such. Gave Abyss a squash win over the Big O. No improvements. Dirt sheet. Well executed squash. Chemistry motivation. Probably bigger guy. He doesn't like working with bigger guys. And then about that, had solid in-ring action, but not much in the way of heat. The random team of Drew Galloway and Davey Richards, because Eddie Edwards is injured in this moment. Defeat the Bromans in 8:33 when Davey Richards defeated Jesse by submission with an ankle lock. Galloway improving in performance, as is Davey Richards. Fantastic. Drew is for chemistry motivation. Oh Jesus. Chemistry motivation. That's potentially not good. It's probably the being pushed high up on the card. In a match that had some good action and average heat, Kurt Angle defeated Tyrus in 8-12 by pinfall with an angle slam. Just getting the world champion a match. He's actually not featured on the show other than in a commentary angle where he's going, not where he's going into, but he's on the announce desk for a match. And that's all he's really featured in. And he's also mentioned in the opening promo, which is a bit written by me. So here comes Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff says, "Guess who's back? That's right, it's me, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, because he was during a storyline with Eric Bischoff and Garrett Bischoff. It was a weird time, but Eric was apparently not allowed to use the Bischoff name, but he is anyways. Only a 70 gimmick rating. This is a new era for TNA. No more Director of Wrestling Operations. If I don't know if that was the actual title of like people like MVP and Kurt Angle, but that's what I'm going with. Just the good old executive producer, because that's what he was for WCW. So he's now an executive producer again with TNA. Eric Bischoff back in control. Now, I know most of you may hate me because, well, I'm Eric Bischoff. I also expect some employee backlash about what I plan on doing here in TNA, so I came prepared. Please welcome my bodyguard, Lashley. So Lashley is Eric Bischoff's bodyguard, acting bodyguard. And that is, then Lashley says, "I have 2 things to say. First off, I want to welcome Eric Bischoff back to TNA. Second of all, I want my world title back. I may have fallen out of the top 5. I kind of plan on using that Like, you know how TNA does the top 5 now? I'm planning on using that a bit. Kind of. Not really like a full on, like, okay, these are the guys who are the number 1 contenders. This is what's happening. But just a basis for this storyline mainly. And maybe I'll use it eventually. But I plan on making a big time return to that top 5. So I figure, why not start with number 5 himself, Eric Bischoff? And he's talking to, Eric Young. He's challenging Eric Young. He's talking to Eric Bischoff now. Eric, I would like to make a request. Me versus EY at Sacrifice. And then Bischoff is like, I could have wrote this in. Bischoff is like, of course, Lashley, you get the match. And then Lashley is like, Kurt Angle, you better watch your back. Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your world title. Poor gimmick, low momentum. Lashley got a good gimmick, alright. 68C+, that's alright. And then, in an extremely poor match, Generation Me defeated The Rising in 8:16 when Max Buck defeated Eli Drake by pinfall with a moonsault. The Young Bucks are back, and by the Young Bucks I mean Generation Me, Max Buck, and Jeremy Buck. I'm just gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, but this really irritates me when people like, because the Young Bucks, Generation Me, used to be in TNA. They were known as Max and Jeremy Buck, and they teamed up as Generation Me. Now, I understand why you want to bring the Young Bucks into TNA, because they're a great tag team. The thing is, if you're going to do it, don't bring them in as Nick and Matt Jackson, because they weren't Nick and Matt Jackson in TNA. They were Max Buck and Jeremy Buck. Bring them in as that. It should, if you got a good real world mod, it should be they should have them as alter egos. Just do that. It's so much easier. And not easier, but it's so much better because they were already in TNA before. They weren't Nick and Matt Jackson. Why would they be back as Nick and Matt Jackson? It just wouldn't make sense. If they were to return, like, they would be Max and Jeremy Buck again. But they beat The Rising when Max Buck defeated Eli Drake by pinfall and moonsault. MVP was on commentary, which is why the BDC versus The Rising storyline continues. They didn't. The bout dragged in the middle with a lack of flow being noticeable. Announcing quality and color commentary gave the match a boost. No improvements. Dirt sheet. Being fatigued. Micah was penalized for a negative crowd reaction. Eli Drake was penalized for a negative crowd reaction. Gotta get those fixed up. Those better. They didn't have the psychology to go for an 8-minute match. And then the Rising are celebrating their victory in the ring when MVP, Kenny King, and Low-Key run in an attack, beating them down into a match. So the BDC attacks Eli Drake and Micah. And I apologize sincerely for that sound you probably just heard. Yeah. I can't really cut that out. Sorry. Low momentum, poor gimmick, low momentum, poor gimmick, low momentum. Just gotta get momentum up. And then in an extremely short match, Sheikh Ali Abdul, Jinder Mahal or Tiger Raj Singh. That's going to be his TNA name now. Sheikh Ali Abdul defeated Nux in 2:11 by pinfall with a Sands of Time. Debuted his Evil Foreigner gimmick, got a 96 rating, but he seemed off his game. Sheikh Ali Abdul is improving in performance skills. Nux has a negative crowd reaction. Why wouldn't he? And then Sheikh Ali Abdul cuts a backstage promo, basically saying, he's in TNA, I'm Indian, hate me. That's basically what it was. And then Ethan Carter III comes down to the ring, takes the microphone and starts talking to the crowd before eventually getting interrupted by Mr. Anderson. So, you know the EV3 campaign angle that they recently did on TNA? This is basically that, except for the fact that I got a bit too lazy after writing that first promo that I just didn't feel like writing any more promos, so I used a base angle. But that's basically what this was. Ethan Carter III is saying he should be in the top 5. He should be the number 1 contender. He should be facing the champion now. He's undefeated for 16 months. He's a Carter. He was born for excellence. All that kind of stuff. Mr. Anderson comes down, says, no, no. Just because you're a Carter doesn't mean you get to be a world champion. Now, I will admit your 16 months reign was great. I mean, your 16 months undefeated streak is impressive. But Mr. Anderson, will be the one to beat your streak. And soft drugs for Anderson and low momentum for Ethan. That match there will be a match there at Sacrifice. In a match that had an average crowd reaction and some decent in-ring action, Ethan Carter III defeated Gunner in 9:53 by pinfall with a sweet meat sizzler. Lack of psychology, improving in technical and improving in performance. Holding back, poor psychology, poor gimmick. Holding back, lack of psychology, very low experience. For the announcing. And then Kenny King cuts a backstage promo while he's coming out to be an announcer for the upcoming Ultimate X match to determine the number one contendership for the X Division title, basically saying whoever wins this match stands no chance against me at Sacrifice. For gimmick, low momentum, 39D minus. Good ratings. I mean, decent ratings. Like I said in the first episode, this is a lot harsher. This is a lot harsher. And about that solid in-ring action, but not much in the way of heat. Spud defeated Manic and DJ Zima Ion in an Ultimate X match. Overhead wires. When Spud retrieved the item. So Spud is the number one contenders match. Al Snow and Kenny King have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together. Do they? Do they? The announcing quality lifted the match. DJ Z is improving in technical, flying, and performance. And Manic is also improving in performance skills. It was well booked. Alright. Well booked. Holding back slightly, poor gimmick. Holding back, poor gimmick. Chemistry, motivation. For match style not meeting crowd's expectations. Eric Young appears and says that he accepts the challenge laid down by Lashley. He will face him in a match at Sacrifice. So I'm going to go ahead and book that in if I haven't already. I haven't. One-on-one. Lashley versus Eric Young. 56C minus. And then, in about that solid in reaction, but not much in the way of heat, Eric Young defeated Samuel Shaw on 6:58 by pinfall with a spiked pile driver. Basically jobbing Sam out. Though he's improving in technical, well booked, poor gimmick, low momentum, holding back slightly. Very low experience. Aries is shown backstage getting ready. And he gets a 67C plus in a match against Austin Aries in a match that had good action, that had a good crowd and some good action. Lashley defeated Aries in 13:06 by pinfall with a spear, getting Lashley some momentum, getting these two guys in a match. Aries was penalized for chemistry motivation, probably against guys bigger than him, which means Aries might have to go back down into the X Division if it's like that. If it's being pushed up high in the crowd, we're going to have to job him out for a while, lower his momentum and his popularity until he is a mid-carder. And then Bobby Roode is shown walking down the backstage hallway on his way to the ring to prepare for his number one contender match that is next. And we get a 60-60 plus. And about that, I had a good crowd and good action. Magnus defeated James Storm and Bobby Roode in 13:21 when Magnus defeated James Storm by pinfall with a Tormentum. Magnus is the new number one contender. Magnus is improving in technical and Bobby Roode is improving in performance. Dirt sheet. Magnus holding back slightly, inconsistency, poor gimmick. Holding back, inconsistency, holding back, poor gimmick. Very low experience. Thinking back on it, like right now, I should have had a stare down angle in there, but I forgot to put it in. I apologize. Anyways, it's got a 64C. The show increased our popularity in 26 regions. So, good show. Honestly, from a personal point of view, I'd like where I like, and obviously I'd say I'd like where this is going, but I'm like seriously, Bischoff coming back. He's good on the mic. Usually, he'd be all right. Jen Me back. That's promising for the tag division. Sheikh Ali Abdul, whatever he can do. Ethan Carter the third is just on fire right now in TNA. It's great. Kenny King, the X division is getting it. The X division could use some work. I'll try and work on that. Lashley, I like Lashley. He's looks good. He's a menacing person. And by he looks good, I mean he's got a good look for the business. He's got a good look as a wrestler. And he also brings some legitimacy being a mixed martial artist. Eric Young, he's doing great in TNA right now as a heel. Aries is Aries, good wrestler, good on the mic, good all around. Magnus, I mean, I wouldn't put Magnus in the world title hunt right now, but he was the guy who was on the Who's Hot list, and he was a main event heel, so I decided, you know what, I'll go with Magnus. Show increased our popularity in 26 regions, as I said before. Good show. I'll see you guys. Hey guys, so funny thing here. During the middle of the loading screen, my recording kicked out, and it just stopped recording for no apparent reason. It just froze the recording. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I was able to get the actual show, but I had gone through, done all the decisions, all the emails and everything. Weird thing happened. James Storm. 1 year, 1 week, and no, 1 year, 2 months, and 1 week with a C5 cervical spinal cord rupture. He's out for over a year. He's 37, so likely the end of his career. I mean, I'm pretty sure an injury like this would almost cause immediate retirement anyways. But he's going to lose a lot of popularity because he was inactive, so he wasn't actually working. He can't be here as a, like, he's unavailable for angles, which really sucks. So I've essentially lost James Storm. And now I need to look for a new leader of the Revolution. Probably outside of TNA, because I don't think I have anyone here who could lead the Revolution like a James Storm could. Possibly Gunner. I just don't think Gunner has the mic skills to do it. So we're gonna have to look out through that. I also signed a few people. User log. We extended our deal with Davey Richards. We signed Matt Sydal. We signed AJ Lee. She was not in WWE. She was... I apologize for that sound if you heard it. She wasn't in AJ Elite. I mean, she wasn't in AJ Elite. No, she wasn't in WWE, so we signed her. We signed Adam Cole, who was injured, and subsequently we gave him surgery. And he's out for 2 months, 2 weeks, after being out for 3 months, 3 weeks, so we get him a month earlier. Now, also we extended Zema Ion's contract and Drew Galloway's contract to become written deals. Here's what I want you guys to do in the comment section. I want you to vote in the comment section and tell me in the comment section if you want me to go through with surgery on James Storm. It's an extreme risk, so it likely won't be happening. I mean, it will be happening if you guys tell me to, but it likely won't be causing James Storm to actually do any... Like, it probably will do more harm than good to him. Just to check, Mr. Anderson is now a franchise player, and Not that he shouldn't be, but he's just not that good. So we're gonna have to go through. It's not that he's not that good. It's just he doesn't have that essence about him anymore. That's like this guy should be up here. This guy should be a main event guy. Maybe. But I need to go through here, look for a new person to bring in as the leader of the revolution, and as the another main event player potentially that I could use to continue with my thing. But Adam Cole will be able to start in a week. We're gonna make him a heel because why not make him a heel? We'll go with that picture for now. Movie star or not. I want him to be a cocky guy. He's arrogant. Arrogant heel. Cocky. Gen Next. Generation Next. God Complex. What? Whoa, average. What? Anyways, guys, I'll just continue go through all these. See you in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.